Hello everyone, my name is Riya Bhatt. As we already know that 5th September is celebrated as a Teachers' Day and we, student of English Department MK Bhavnagar University are going to celebrate Teachers' Day virtually and I am going to deal with the topic anti-sentimental comedy. Before discussing our main topic, what is anti-sentimental comedy, let us go through or we can say that let's look upon the points like what is comedy, types of comedy in literature as well as sentimental comedy so that one can get clear idea about what is anti-sentimental comedy. Firstly, what is comedy? So comedy is a type of genre that makes readers laugh. Comedy is also a type of dramatic work which employs with the amusing or satirical tone with the cheerful ending. As we already know that how this type of comedy genre is famous in nowadays. In a way we can say that stand-up comedy forms or in a TV form. But comedy in literature is quite different from all others these types of famous comedies. It includes a classical tone in itself. So, how many types of comedies that we find in English literature? In answer of this question, we get to know that there are 10 types of comedy in literature that we find. First, the comedy of classical comedy, romantic comedy, comedy of manner, comedy of error, comedy of humor, sentimental comedy, comedy of intrigues, mask, farce and slapstick. These are 10 types of comedies in literature and we are going to discuss about anti-sentimental comedy. So what is anti-sentimental comedy? We can say that the anti-sentimental comedy is totally opposite to sentimental comedy. So before discussing about our main topic, what is anti-sentimental comedy, we must have to look upon what is sentimental comedy. So what is sentimental comedy? Sentimental comedy is a type of genre which have a tragedy kind of characteristic. I mean, in this no humor, no laughter in this. It includes emotions, it evokes emotions like pity, sorrow and sympathy in itself. We can say that the tragedy kind of characteristic. Where anti-sentimental comedy is reaction against sentimental comedy. The pioneer of anti-sentimental comedy is Oliver Goldsmith, who criticized sentimental comedy in his essay on Theatre, or comparison of laughter and sentimental comedy. Oliver Goldsmith writes that the true function of comedy is to give a humorous exhibition of follies and vices of men and women and to give them and to rectify them by an existing laughter. Oliver Goldsmith opposed with the sentimental comedy because in the place of laughter and humor it provides tear and pathetic lovers and honest servants and sincere or serious heroines. Anti-sentimental comedy is written by Oliver Goldsmith and Richard Brinsley Sheridan. As we already know that the anti-sentimental comedy is totally opposite to sentimental comedy. When sentimental comedy did not last long, we get introduced by Oliver Goldsmith and Richard Brinsley Sheridan to an anti-sentimental comedy. And anti-sentimental comedy is kind of comedy which representing the current complex and sophisticated behavioral current in the fashion fashionable circle of society or higher class society, that appearance is most important, and so on. So this kind of elements are there in anti-sentimental comedy. So let's move to the topic, the characteristic of anti-sentimental comedy. So there are 5 characteristics that we find in anti-sentimental comedy, and they are wit, laughter, farce, irony, and disguise. These are 5 that we find as a characteristic of anti-sentimental comedy. Let's discuss in detail about it and get some examples of these characteristics. Okay, so first, wit. What is wit? The wit is the form of intelligent humor which have the ability to say or write something which is usually clever and funny in a way. For example, alcohol. Because of no great story start with the story that man eats salad. It's kind of humor, but it's a satire that do not use alcohol. Instead of this, you use anything else like salad and eatable things. It's harm for you. In satirical way, they told like alcohol because no great story starts with someone eating salad. Another example is when someone says you are changed. So the you are changed, it simply means that you have stopped living your life in their ways, in their expectations, and they are telling to you that you are changed. But the actual ways, the actual thing is you just stop living your life in their ways. So this kind of satire, when someone use, then it is called wit. It's also found in Pope's Rap of the Lock that we discuss on later. Second is laughter. Of course, laughter is the best medicine for our life. The third one is farce. Farce is a comedy which aims at entertaining to the audience through the situation that highly exaggerated. For example, Mary. Fourth one is irony. Irony is a kind of element of anti-sentimental comedy which totally opposite of its actual meaning. For example, I am saying that be quiet in a loud voice, then I told you to be quiet, but I am totally opposite with it, that I am saying loudly that be quiet. So this kind of satire, or we can say that this kind of things are called irony in a anti-sentimental comedy. Disguise. Disguise is the thing that modify manners as a appearance of a person through the wig and glasses and such a makeup, costume, and another way. Okay, so these are the characteristics and the basic information of anti-sentimental comedy. So now if we want to take an example, look for the example of this anti-sentimental comedy from the neoclassical age, then Alexander Pope's Rape of the Lock is the example that is considered as this anti-sentimental comedy. In Rape of the Lock, we find many time we find the elements like wit and humorous way as well as irony and so on. In Belinda's toilet, an incident of Belinda's toilet, we find a comic way with the wit, with the example of wit, and so many times when the incident of this Rape of the Lock and so on. So that is it from my side. Thank you.